Most men think women can be won with gifts, charm, or a perfect smile, and that is exactly why they are forgotten. Niccolò Machiavelli saw deeper. He understood the truth most men will never admit. The goal is not to be liked, it is to be unforgettable. Not by giving more, not by chasing harder, but by controlling what she feels when you are gone. That is where real power begins. In this video, you will learn 9 dark psychological frameworks inspired by Machiavelli himself. Not tricks, not cheap seduction lines, but structures that bypass the surface and strike directly at the female mind. Frameworks that create obsession without begging, without explaining, without performing like the average man who pleads for her love. If you're ready to understand why the man who can walk away is the one she cannot stop chasing, then keep listening. Because once you learn these strategies, you will never play the game like everyone else again. This is Cyvoria. Subscribe now, because what you are about to hear will not just change how you see women, it will change how you see yourself. Machiavelli once wrote, "It is much safer to be feared than loved." And most men refuse to hear it because it makes them uncomfortable. They cling to the idea that giving more love, showing more affection, and proving their devotion will keep her. But what happens? She grows numb to it. Love that is given without boundaries loses its weight. It becomes background noise. She knows you will always be there, so she stops feeling your presence. And that is where you fail. Fear, in this context, is not about violence, anger, or control. That is weakness disguised as strength, and women can smell it. Real fear is the quiet awareness that you can walk away. It is the unspoken truth that your standards are not for sale, that you will not stay where you are disrespected. It is the silence after she crosses a line and you do not argue or beg, you simply vanish. That absence speaks louder than any outburst. It makes her feel the cost of losing you, and that feeling lingers in her mind long after your presence is gone. She may love you, but if she does not fear losing you, you are replaceable. Yet if she senses that you are unshakable, that you can love deeply but still let go without hesitation, she becomes obsessed because she knows she cannot control you. And that unpredictability is what makes you unforgettable. That is the true power of fear over love, the foundation of dark attraction, and the first lesson every Machiavellian man must master. Machiavelli said it is not necessary to be good, it is necessary to appear good. Most men ignore this because they still believe in the childish lie that being kind, loyal, and hardworking is enough for respect and desire. But the world does not see your inner truth. It sees your surface, and women are no different. She is not drawn to your logic, your long explanations, or your noble intent. She is drawn to what she feels when she is around you. And that feeling comes from image, not fact. Weak posture, uncertain tone, nervous energy, these things erase your value before you speak a single word. Confidence in your walk, calmness in your voice, stillness in your reactions, these things build attraction before she even knows who you are. This is not about lying, it is about framing. You do not have to show her everything. You should never reveal all at once. Leave silence, leave gaps. Let her imagination fill in what she cannot see. Mystery is far more magnetic than honesty dumped without thought. A man who explains himself endlessly is forgettable. A man who controls his image, who gives her only glimpses of his world, becomes unforgettable. Machiavelli understood that people are ruled by perception, not reality. If you do not shape that perception, she will shape it for you, and you will lose. So stop oversharing, stop begging to be understood, stop chasing validation. Walk into every room like a man who does not need to be explained. In a world built on appearances, your image is not decoration, it is the game itself. Every woman will test you, not because she hates you, but because she wants to see if you can hold your ground. She will pull away, go cold, change her tone, act unpredictable. Most men panic when this happens. They explain, they apologize, they try to fix things with words. And the moment they do, they fail the test. Machiavelli gave, the blueprint centuries ago. A powerful man must be both lion and fox. The lion is strength. He does not chase, he does not beg, he does not explain. His presence alone creates respect. The fox is intelligence. He does not react to every provocation. He does not show his hand. He watches silently and strikes when the time is right. If you're only lion, she will provoke you until you explode, and then your power becomes noise. If you're only fox, you will be clever but spineless, and she will never trust you to lead. But when you are both, she cannot predict you. One moment you are silent and unshakable, the next you draw the line with calm force. That balance keeps her hooked. She does not respect the man who bends, nor the man who rages. She respects the man who never flinches, who never explains, who simply moves when he chooses and stays immovable when tested. Be lion when your respect is crossed. Be fox when she throws bait. And together those two sides create a man who is unforgettable. Machiavelli's oldest law of power was divide and conquer, and it applies not only to kingdoms but also to the human mind. You do not gain control of a woman by trying to overpower her or by fighting her beliefs head-on. You gain control by creating subtle cracks in her certainty. When she feels absolutely sure of herself, she is in control. When you make her question even slightly, you enter her psychology. This is not about arguing. It is about planting seeds. She says she hates jealous men. You do not debate. You simply smile and say, "That's what you think." Now her mind spins. What did he mean? Do I really believe that? Why can't I stop thinking about it? That's how division begins. Not between you and her, but within her. Most men rush to agree with everything she says to appear likable. That makes her feel safe, but safety without tension breeds boredom. Tension is what creates attraction. A single sentence, delivered with calm mystery, can keep her awake at night, replaying your words. You did not demand, you did not argue, you simply disrupted her certainty. And in that disruption, she begins to crave your presence, because only you hold the answers she cannot find alone. Divide her world quietly, and she will come to you not for comfort, but for resolution, unable to resist the mystery you planted inside her. Machiavelli once wrote that injuries must be inflicted all at once, while benefits should be given little by little. This timeless principle applies perfectly to relationships and attraction. Most men get it backwards. They punish constantly with complaints, nagging, or arguments, while they reward too easily by giving unlimited attention, affection, and validation. This makes them predictable, forgettable, and powerless. A Machiavellian man does the opposite. When a boundary is crossed, he does not argue, he does not explain, he does not dramatize. He acts. One clean, cold consequence delivered once, without warning, without emotion. Maybe it is silence, distance, or simple withdrawal. Whatever it is, it leaves no room for negotiation. The punishment lands like a heavy strike, and then it is over. On the other side comes the reward, but never in one flood. It comes in rare, controlled doses. A smile when she earned it, a compliment when her loyalty was shown, a touch when she least expects it. These small, intermittent signals are more addictive than constant affection. Just like a gambler at a casino keeps playing because the reward is uncertain, she keeps investing because she never knows when the next dose will come. The power lies in timing, not intensity. Punish fast, once decisively. Reward slow, rare, and always earned. That rhythm creates a cycle of craving and obsession, and it makes your presence feel less like attention and more like gravity she cannot escape. Most men are distracted by beauty, by the surface, by what she shows to the world. A Machiavellian man is different. He does not stare with hunger. He observes with silence and precision. He notices details others miss. The way her tone shifts when she is with a man she respects versus one she controls. The way her laughter feels forced in one setting and genuine in another. The way her body posture changes depending on who enters the room. While other men try to enter her body, he has already entered her psychology. And when the moment is right, he delivers one line, calm and surgical. Not a compliment, not flattery, not begging for approval, but a single observation that cuts straight through her mask. Maybe he says, "You speak differently when he is around." Or, "That laugh did not sound real." No judgment, no smile, no attempt to impress. Just the truth stated plainly, followed by silence. That one sentence lingers longer than any pickup line ever could, because it exposes what she thought was hidden. Suddenly, she feels seen in a way that unsettles her. Not admired like every other man makes her feel, but exposed. She starts asking herself questions she cannot answer. How did he notice that? What else has he seen? Has he been reading me this whole time? Now he lives in her head, replayed again and again, not because he tried to impress her, but because he showed her that he cannot be fooled. That quiet, unshakable presence is more seductive than charm, because it leaves echoes that last long after he is gone. If you're always there, always available, always quick to respond, you become predictable. And predictability kills desire. What she craves is not constant attention, it is contrast. The silence after presence, the absence after intensity. This is why a Machiavellian man uses absence as a weapon. Not to punish, not to play childish games, but to create space where her mind cannot rest. When you vanish without explanation, without drama, she begins to replay everything in her head. She searches for clues in your last words. She re-examines your tone. She wonders what she missed. And that silence becomes louder than any speech. The key is timing. Absence only works if your presence had weight. If you were forgettable while present, your silence will mean nothing. But if your energy was powerful, your absence becomes haunting. She will start to wonder, is he gone for good? Did I lose him? Was I ever important at all? And those questions consume her more than your constant attention ever could. The Machiavellian man does not disappear out of anger. He disappears because his value is being taken for granted. And when he returns, he is calm, unmoved, unshaken. And that calm terrifies her more than any argument. Because now she knows he can walk away at any time and never look back. That fear of loss makes his presence magnetic. He no longer chases, he pulls. Not through force, but through gravity. And gravity never begs. It simply makes everything revolve around it. If you want to live in her mind forever, you cannot just be another man she liked. You must become the turning point in her story. Women forget boyfriends, flings, and admirers. But they never forget the man who shifted something inside them. The one who forced them to see themselves differently. This is what Freud meant when he said emotional memory shapes desire. She will not crave the man who made her laugh, but she will always crave the one who made her pause, who made her question, who made her feel alive in a way she did not expect. To do this, you must speak the words that others are afraid to speak. You must show her the truth she hides, even from herself. Not to shame her, not to hurt her, but to show her that you see beyond the mask. And when you do this without asking for approval, without chasing validation, you become unforgettable. Because you stop being just a man. You become a moment, a shift, a chapter that cannot be erased. Maybe you were the first to set a standard she could not bend. Maybe you were the first to walk away without begging. Maybe you were the one who forced her to grow, whether she wanted to or not. That is the mark of a Machiavellian man. He does not compete to be chosen. He becomes the reference point by which every man after him is measured. He does not live in her daily routine. He lives in her private memory, the part she never speaks about but never forgets. Once you become that moment, you do not need to fight for her space. You already own it. Every lesson you've just absorbed points to one undeniable truth. Control begins with you. Most men will waste their lives trying to please, trying to be liked, trying to earn approval through gifts, compliments, or endless effort. And in doing so, they chain themselves to weakness. But you are not here to repeat their mistakes. You are here to understand what Machiavelli saw with terrifying clarity. That love without respect is fragile. The desire without fear is shallow. And that true power in relationships is not about noise or performance, but about psychological gravity. You don't beg for attention. You don't explain your worth. You don't fight to be seen. You move with silence, with mystery, with self-mastery, and you let her feel the fear of losing you more than the comfort of always having you. This is not cruelty. This is reality. The dark reality that women secretly crave but will never admit. The presence of a man who cannot be tamed, who respects himself more than he desires her, who makes her world shift simply by walking away. If these words resonate with you, if you feel something inside you awaken, then let this be your moment of transformation. Comment below the word control. Not for me, not for her, but as your own declaration that you are done begging, done chasing, done living like every other predictable man. Subscribe now to Cyvoria, because what comes next is not entertainment. It is training in the darker side of psychology, training that will make you unforgettable, untouchable, and unstoppable. And remember this, you do not need to become someone else. You need only to release the monster, the strategist, the man you buried long ago under fear and conformity. Once you let him out, there's no going back.